what I want to ask each and every one of you to chime in on, what is the one takeaway from, if you listen to somebody else or from your own, give me one nugget of wisdom from today that you think everyone should really grasp onto. All right, Fraser, I'll start with you.
Yeah, no, I think it's maybe not a nugget that I got from everyone, because everyone just crushed it, and it wouldn't be fair to pick a nugget from one person. I think it's the idea of just taking action on one thing. I'm a great believer in it. If you want to climb Mount Everest, you need a vision of what it's going to be like at the top, and you need to move your left foot forward, and then your right foot forward, and then your left foot forward, and then your right foot forward. And that's it, really. So my big nugget for the guys tuning in is actually really finding that one thing that you made a note on and taking action on it before you go to bed tonight. Like, I'm going to take action on some stuff, and I've got 1 hour and 6 minutes before I go to bed, right? Before tomorrow starts. So it's taking action on that one thing that you learn, and don't just, because self-help should never become shelf help. Don't put your notes on the shelf and forget it. You know, you need to make sure you take action on it, because that's the best way to move forward. So yeah.
I love your one-liners. You are the king of one-liners. Perfect. I love them. They're so good. Well, Fraser, I know it is late for you, so we're going to let you go. I mean, feel free to stay, but I know you got to go on to some other things as well. Thank you again for all your contributions to Social Media Day and being here with us. We had such a blast. I got so many great comments.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, and you all were just incredible. I've learned so much. So big love to you all, and I'll see you soon.
All right. Take care, Fraser. All right. How about you, Dr. Sharman?
Yes. Thank you so much. It's so nice to be here and to hear all of you speak. It was such a joy. And to talk about my favorite topic, right? Social media. So that was really nice to be amongst all of you. So I think one of the things that I always try to tell people is that idea of the way that we communicate in person and the values that are important to us on that one-to-one basis when we're connecting with, a stranger, meeting someone new. Like I gave the analogy of the party, right? Or, in our business, a friend, a group we meet, whatever it is, just try to take those best practices from your in-person interactions, take those online, right? And not see online as this foreign, strange place that acts completely different. It's the same. It's that, like you were saying, Sam, putting the social back into social media is how can we be ourselves, be our authentic selves online, because that really builds that trust. It builds that community. It builds that credibility. And really fosters engagement so that we can have long-lasting relationships, right? And loyal customers in the end. So I think it's really probably the most important thing I'd like to share.
Love it. Thank you. Aaron, how about you? One good takeaway.
That was so beautifully said. I don't want to be an echo chamber, because I think what was interesting is we all sort of, to your point, Scott, we didn't rehearse this with making sure that we were all rowing in the same direction, but there sure were some pretty strong universal through lines with each of our different presentations. And I think what I'm hoping that our attendees today stand up and walk away feeling is that they can authorize themselves to say no to all the social media things. They can authorize themselves to release this pressure to be everywhere at all times, to be everything to all people. To your point earlier, them being not another parroted carbon copy, a less vibrant copy of someone else who has more followers or who has this influential title, but instead really leaning forward and stepping radically into their unique, they're different, they're weird, they're quirky, and just feeling so empowered that that's the microphone and spotlight should be amplifying that element. So I know, for me, I'll never forget a social media expert friend of mine a couple years ago, Ann Hanley. She said something like, you don't have to be everything to everyone, because then you'll be nothing to no one. And in that day, I'll never forget, I took all my social media accounts And I said, I want to play in the sandbox that brings me joy, that brings me energy. I want to really double down and invest in one space that I don't really mind spending time in anyway. So for me, back then anyway, it was Instagram. And so I just released this need to be everywhere. And I put shell profiles on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and YouTube. And I said, hey, thanks for coming by. Come play with me on Instagram. That's where I am. So if you want to hang out, come find me there. And I just released this need to be everywhere. When I doubled down on Instagram and really invested in that community, kind of like going to the same gym versus ClassPass, right? Like you can't really make those same relationships complaining about the rower and the treadmill at Orange Theory if you're bouncing around to the yoga place and the Pilates place and the spin studio. And it's harder to make real genuine friendships. So releasing the need to be everywhere, authorizing ourselves, it's okay to double down in one space and do it well. And I think just really just feeling free about that, feeling light about it, feeling excited about it.
I love that. I told Frazier this. I decided I don't have to take my professional multi-brain training, social media to TikTok, to everywhere. I'm using TikTok to be if I weren't doing this, I'd be a Food Network TV star with my own Food Network show. So I'm doing food TikToks and that's it. And if you want to watch, you can. If you don't, that's for me. It doesn't have to be professional.
That's right. And they can feel that joy. They can feel that you're not checking the social media box and phoning it in and contenting for content's sake. They can feel that you have, to use your word earlier, that authentic passion. And at the end of the day, that's what's going to bring them coming back for more. So I love that for you.
Yeah, thank you. I love it. And Dr. Stephanie Boyer just joined us. Thank you for coming on. You took Frazier's slot. That's perfect because he had to go.
Thank you so much for having me. My students are actually in there right now, still taking an exam, 3 of them. So they're on the honor code to make sure.
Amazing.
They're behaving.
Well, we're just going through sharing our one favorite moment from the day, each of us. And then we're going to answer just a couple of quick questions. So to keep this moving, because I just want to keep this about 5 more minutes. Sam, how about you? A takeaway?
Yeah, look, I think it was really beautiful to see, as Erin said, there were just so many messages that were shared consistently across the board. And while there were so many takeaways people could grab, I think the things that stand out and stood out for me was, number one, making sure that we show up. It's just that getting messy. I love what you said about that, Scott, just even with the reels, I've got my hand in there. Oh, well, I'm learning. People don't relate to perfect. They don't relate to the perfect version of you. They relate to the journey. They relate to the real version. And, it should be a real weight off many people's shoulders to know that the way you should be showing up is to show up as your imperfect self. And I think everyone's kind of repeated that so beautifully. It's so important. And I just, it reminds me of something that the amazing Mari Smith said. She's been dubbed the Queen of Facebook. For those that don't know who Mari Smith is, I know she spoke at Social Media Day, maybe 2 social media days ago. And she says this, social media is moving at lightning speed, but humans haven't changed all that much. And it's really important to remember that at the end of the day, we're relating to humans. And while we have technology and incredible tools at our fingertips, it's not the incredible tools that are going to get us the growth in our business, because it's humans that we're relating to at the end of the day. So just be you. Show up exactly as you are. You are perfect exactly as you are. And, put your hand in front of the camera, do crazy things, have lives where they go sideways. It
was the old bat, and it was bad.
Yeah, I mean, look, you remember the crazy stuff, right? The people that walk behind the Zoom camera, and the people that get changed in the background, and the kids that photobomb, and the stuff that's just not perfect. So show up as your imperfect self. That's as perfect as you'll ever need to be.
I love it. Stephanie, how about you? Do you have one quick takeaway from today, from the ones you listened to? And
well, I really love that dichotomy between being your authentic self, but then also utilizing AI tools that can help you to save time. So really taking both of those together and being able to save time and get a great start, or maybe helping you brainstorm so that you're not stuck just spinning your wheels, and then really adding that human touch that we have. I think that's the future.
I loved that Erin took the human approach to AI. Like she put, I'm talking like you're in third person, not here. You put the, you've got to edit it. You got to tell it to do this. You got to direct. The human has to direct the machine to get exactly what it is you want. I did love that. I got an aha out of that.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Melissa?
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, these have all been so great. I would have to say for me, it's that rethinking how you communicate, right? That it's not about you. Because I do think we all start with I hope you're having a good day, right? And you've already lost them because you're starting with the I.
I do.
So it's how you shift to really getting to the point with them and making it about them and what they want to hear, what they need. So I think that is definitely one of my biggest takeaways. I also have to say, I do love you can't be all things to all people. It's so true. And the same things don't work either. You have to have that shift. You just can't keep shouting the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, I love my favorite words of the day. My three favorite I'm sorry, they come from Aaron. The I bombs and my bombs. It's just, I'm going to put it on my wall. I bombs and non-Googleables. It just killed me.
Well, and challenge yourself to start your emails and take out all the I's.
Every
right?
one of mine starts with "I hope all is well with you." I'm only going to do it to Aaron from now on.
Well, look, we're not bad people. Our intention is to show up warmly and to kick it off. And in a conversation in real life, you would never just dive in. But it's interesting once you start to exercise the muscle, you realize that if you don't want to sound like everyone else, this quick little shift, the beauty is 99.9% of people are in the first 10 words saying, how are you? Hope you had a good weekend. I wanted to reach out. So if you just change the first sentence, you will already be digitally differentiating yourself from 99.9%. So the bar is low. That's the good news, right?
Good to know. Good to know. Because I told you the first time I met you, I said, God, it's hard to write an email now because I just try to get the U's in there. All right, y'all. One more quick thing, and we're out of here because we're a little over time. Thank you, everybody, for being here and being a part of this. My one takeaway is the word I heard the most and the word I love the most, and everybody weaved it in, is consistency. Is being consistent, whether it's just showing up, putting one foot forward, posting every day, whatever. It's just consistently, always knowing your brand. The doctors, I loved how you put it into, just it takes so many times. Well, that can be a consistent strategy as well. So I loved that theme throughout the whole thing. What Rodney's and Ian have put together, and by the way, big shout out to the Multibrain team, Rodney, Ian, Angel, Eleanor from DSA, who's helping out as well, who's helped put this whole thing together. We've got Davi, we've got Chris, who built all the sites, Dan the man, Amira, everyone on the team behind the scenes producing this. Thank you guys, every one of you. This was flawless. No big technical glitches. So that's fantastic. What I want to end with, this is going to be quick fire. There's going to be 4 or 5 questions that are going to come across the bottom. Each one of you can choose to dive in or not, but I'm talking 1-sentence answers. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
So here we go. Rodney, you can put the first one up, or Ian. Do I really have to use video to grow? Go.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Doesn't everyone love to watch a short video?
Yeah.
Super engaging.
What I've always said is if you don't like the way you look on video, turn the camera around and show what you see.
Oh, I love that.
So-
That's good. Whoa, mic drop.
All right, next question.
Feeling
How much
that
is
one.
too much outreach?
Ooh.
Go.
I would say outreach that is not on par with the person. Any of that.
Who else?
I would have said anything that's not appropriate. It needs to be appropriate outreach.
Okay, appropriate outreach. Anyone? All right, next one. How do we know if our contacts want to engage? Oh, this is so good. How do we know if our contacts want to engage?
They respond on social.
They download your lead magnet.
They
They
like
engage
your
with you at
content.
any point in the customer journey. Sorry.
I was going to say they engage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If they're
Yeah.
not engaging, they don't want to engage. All right, one more. How can I find engaging questions to ask?
Ask ChatGPT.
Right? Ask chat.
Use those keywords and put them into each social platform. It's also a big search engine.
Right. Any search engine, you put that topic in and it'll list all the most popular questions people are asking.
I love that. I saw that in a training once where it was, if you're in such and such a business, go in and your product has this to say, what are the top most requested questions on this topic? And you get a whole list of them.
Well, and
Yeah,
I
just
loved, was it
Google will give you
Aaron?
that.
Was it Aaron that said, make sure you're figuring out what they care about? That I love that. So true, right? You don't want to ask them something if they don't play tennis, right?
Right. And
Well, that's like
everyone,
what
so
Sam
we
said.
have-
I'm sorry. Sam said, you don't take a steak in for a, so you gotta know. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Aaron.
Go ahead.
I was going to say it's really funny because we actually created a cheat sheet on this and I nearly provided it in the workbook. So we've actually created a whole lot of engagement questions. So maybe let me know how we can get this to people and we can just give you like 100 engagement questions we've already put together. But for me, this would be about what do you want to know about your audience and what are some of the common conversations you're already having? You already have a lot of those questions in your head. So just think about what do those conversations look like and be real. It's just ask human questions.
Right.
Yep.
Go,
And
Aaron.
I also would just add to that, ask human questions that aren't typically asked, because what we're trying to do is interrupt those patterns, right? We're trying to interrupt predictable patterns. So for example, my rule of thumb at a cocktail party or a networking event is I refuse to ask anyone, what do you do for work? I refuse to ask that question because I sound like every other human in that room. So to take the lens and think to yourself, what is a different take on this? So what I ask people is, when you aren't working and money doesn't matter, where are you?
Yeah, that's a good one.
And so
Wow, I love
thinking
that
through,
one.
like, what is another version of, instead of saying like, so, tell us more about your biggest customer problem. It looks like one of your customer problems might be that, but could it be this instead? Or is it more this? Like, don't be afraid to have them even push back strong and say, oh, no. Because at least you're eliciting an emotional response. At least you're eliciting a tell me more moment. And so I think most asked questions are fantastic. I think radically real human questions are fantastic. But just taking like 0.01 seconds to think to yourself, what is a little funky, weird, different twist? Just a scotch of a lens click. That if I pose it in this way, they're going to remember me or answer me as opposed to everyone else that's sort of doing the carbon copy parrot performance.
Can I
And
add one more?
oh, sorry.
Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So one more is just asking why. If they say something to you, why is that important to you? Why did you do that? Right? So just a follow-up question to something that they said is incredibly engaging.
Yeah. And just make sure they're really easy to answer as well. Remember, on social media, you've got like 3 seconds to get someone's attention. Asking a question like, why do you love your mum? Is, someone could write an essay about that. So think about how you could reword what you're saying to make it really easy to answer. Use one word to describe your mum. It would be a way to do that lens click that Erin was talking about, and in my way of not necessarily making it more interesting, but making it easier for people to answer really quickly on the fly. Just remember, it's social media, it's fast paced. So don't make your questions really difficult for people to answer.
Okay, last
That's
question.
a great point, Sam. That's a great point because there are not enough characters in Twitter to deal with mom issues. I think that is a great point.
All right, the last question, and everyone's literally one word answers or a couple of words, and we're out of here. Ready? When you aren't working and money doesn't matter, where are you? Go.
With my family.
Camping.
Doctors, answer.
Eating.
The doctors are eating. You're where, Melissa?
In the pool.
In the pool.
Nice.
Sam,
Nice.
I'm camping.
you're camping. And where are you, Aaron? You're with family.
Family. Cocktail, mom and dad, good tunes, just hanging. Yeah.
I'm at the pool overlooking the ocean.
Wow.
Ooh,
You gotta
Nice.
take it up a notch for
you
me,
win.
Scott.
Scott
One-upper.
wins. Good
That's a
job,
one-upper.
Scott. You win.
I was going to say it before Melissa said pool because I want the ocean view.
Too funny.
You guys
Well,
have been amazing.
I have to say a huge thank you to all of you on behalf of all of us in the direct selling industry. Thank you all for your wonderful content today, Scott and the Multi-Brain team. Thank you all for the amazing technology and helping us bring this to life. So can't thank you all enough. I think that everyone's really probably enjoyed this day as much as we all have, right? Or more.
Thank you so much. Thanks for the
Thanks,
opportunity.
everybody.
And thanks to all of you. You guys have a great rest of your
Thank
day.
you so much.
Thank you.